Hello there and welcome back. Tonight we will journey into the vast expanse of the Gulf of Mexico, so please allow yourself to settle in comfortably as we gently drift into a world beneath the waves, where subtle currents and shifting light create a realm of quiet wonder. Fall asleep with the mysterious depths, a gentle exploration of Gulf of Mexico ecosystems, a place where we might uncover what some call scary facts about the Gulf of Mexico. Yet in this calm narration, we will see how these remarkable truths reflect both the vulnerability and resilience of this expansive marine environment. From the moment we peer into its waters, the Gulf of Mexico reveals itself as a realm shaped by ancient geology, powerful ocean currents, and a diverse tapestry of marine life that has evolved to fill every niche, whether at sunlit shallows near the shore or in the dark and mysterious reaches of the deep sea. In this region bordered by North America, Mexico, and Cuba, centuries of changing sea levels and tectonic shifts have carved the seabed, creating submarine canyon networks and continental shelf expanses that support countless organisms. Imagine yourself swimming gently through the cool waters along the coastline. Gradually, the sea floor begins to slope downward, and subtle gradients of emerald transform into twilight blues, hinting at depths to come. With a sense of tranquility and gentle curiosity, we move farther from the coast, where sunlight dims, the water grows deeper, and the secrets of the Gulf begin to unfold. The interplay of fresh water from the mighty Mississippi River and the saltier waters of the open ocean makes the Gulf incredibly dynamic, with constantly shifting boundaries of temperature, salinity, and nutrient availability. Beneath our calm exploration lies one of the Gulf's lesser-known phenomena, massive hypoxic zones that occur seasonally. These areas, often referred to as dead zones, form when nutrient-rich runoff from agricultural regions flows down rivers and eventually reaches the Gulf, fueling blooms of tiny plankton that later sink and decompose on the sea floor. That decomposition consumes oxygen, creating pockets of water so depleted in oxygen that many marine animals cannot survive. This seasonal shift can be described as a scary fact, yet it also highlights the delicately balanced nature of marine ecosystems. Too many nutrients lead to excess plankton growth. Too little oxygen leaves fish shoals gasping for relief, and scientists continue to investigate how these cycles will shift over time as human activities evolve. Farther offshore, as we glide beneath the water's surface, we encounter intriguing glimpses of the Gulf's geological history, with fossilized coral frameworks and rocky ledges that were once above sea level, now submerged for millennia. These formations provide shelter and breeding grounds for countless species. Small reef fish dart around in bright flashes of color, while larger groupers hover quietly near rocky overhangs. Where the seafloor plunges further downward, beyond the continental slope, vast plains and canyons extend into deep ocean territory, merging with the dark abyss. Here we find an array of deep-sea ecosystems that thrive under high pressure, frigid temperatures, and almost complete darkness. Among them are the remarkable chemosynthetic communities that rely not on sunlight, but on chemicals such as hydrogen sulfide or methane seeping from the seafloor. Thriving tube worms, intricately adapted shrimp, and specialized bacteria form the foundation of these webs of life, living proof that nature finds a way in seemingly inhospitable places. While these deep-sea habitats may spark our sense of wonder, they can also reveal fragile vulnerabilities, as any disruption in the delicate chemistry of the water, whether from pollution or geological disturbances, can threaten entire communities that have taken countless generations to flourish. Even in the sunlit zone, the Gulf is shaped by complicated ocean currents that swirl and shift, carrying nutrients, plankton, and often the eggs and larvae of many species across wide distances. One of the most influential of these currents is the loop current, which flows between the Yucatan Peninsula and Cuba into the Gulf and eventually snakes its way around Florida. In this constant flow, life is transported and distributed, meaning that marine populations from coral reef fish to surface-dwelling plankton share an interconnected destiny. When conditions align, the loop current can also transport unwelcome visitors, such as certain types of harmful algal blooms or jellyfish swarms, which can have dramatic impacts on local ecosystems, fisheries, and even beachgoers. The presence of these intriguing and sometimes challenging phenomena underscores the Gulf's vast complexity, but they also remind us how intricately interlaced the entire marine environment can be. You might find yourself imagining the gentle rise and fall of distant waves up on the surface, accentuated by passing ships carrying research teams who deploy instruments to measure the Gulf's water chemistry, temperature, oxygen levels, and the biodiversity that inhabits it all. Ongoing environmental changes, such as warming waters and ocean acidification, raise concerns about how these habitats will adapt, especially delicate coral communities in places like the Flower Garden Banks National Marine Sanctuary. Their vibrant reefs host corals that have been growing for thousands of years, offering structure to myriad fish, sea turtles, and the occasional passing manta ray. Some experts worry that as ocean temperatures climb, corals may be more prone to bleaching events, a phenomenon in which corals lose the symbiotic algae that sustain them. Although painful to observe, coral bleaching does not necessarily mean the end of a reef. It can recover if temperatures return to normal in time, illustrating both the vulnerability and the resilience of this magnificent environment. In certain areas, large mats of drifting algae called sargassum accumulate in the surface waters of the Gulf, sometimes forming floating habitats teeming with juvenile fish, small crabs, and other creatures that seek refuge among the dense strands. Sargassum, while a boon for many species, can wash ashore in large quantities, causing local problems for coastal communities. Yet in the open water it represents a floating oasis of life in the vastness of the sea. Drifting lazily along, you might envision sea turtles gracefully gliding through these waters, from small Kemp's Radleys to larger loggerheads. They ride currents in search of feeding grounds, occasionally ducking into shallower coastal habitats. The Gulf of Mexico is one of the prime regions where sea turtles migrate, nest and feed, tethering them to these waters across vast distances. However, heavy boat traffic, pollution, plastic debris, and shifts in temperature and habitat can pose real challenges to these ancient mariners. Still, scientists, conservationists, and communities collaborate to protect nesting beaches and restore habitats, showing us that while troubling realities might exist, there is also spirited work towards sustaining the Gulf's biodiversity. As we float deeper into this calming story, our mind's eye might catch a glimpse of the many different shark species that make the Gulf their home. From small coastal species patrolling near-shore waters in search of fish and crustaceans, to larger sharks inhabiting areas near the canyons and outer continental shelf, these skilled predators have lived here for millions of years, indicative of a well-established and flourishing marine ecosystem. Though the idea of sharks can be unsettling for some, research helps us better understand their behavior, teaching us that they typically keep their distance and prefer areas where prey is abundant. Some migratory shark populations pass through the Gulf to reach warm waters or feeding locations. At times, changes in water temperature, fishing pressure, and reduced prey availability can alter these migratory routes, leading to ongoing studies on how best to maintain balance between these apex predators, and the health of fish populations. One of the surprises found far below the surface are the many brine pools that form on the seabed, where high concentrations of salty water ooze from cracks in the ocean floor, creating distinct layers of water so dense that they remain in place, almost like underwater lakes. These brine pools harbor specialized organisms that must cope with intense salinity and unusual chemistry, living within a zone few other creatures can tolerate. This might seem like a mysterious or unnerving truth, yet it offers a glimpse into nature's ability to innovate solutions to extreme conditions. Another noteworthy reality in the Gulf relates to the racks of oil and gas platforms scattered across certain expanses of open water, a reminder of the region's important role in energy production. While industrial infrastructure can pose obvious risks, over the decades, some of these platforms have become artificial reefs of sorts, where fish and invertebrates congregate around the submerged steel pillars. Red snapper, spadefish and barnacles abound in these metal jungles. There have been debates about whether to remove defunct platforms or repurpose them as reefs, reflecting that the human footprint can be complicated and must be approached with caution and thoughtful study. Additionally, occasional incidents of accidental leaks or spills can impact marine life, prompting extensive research on containment, remediation and long-term ecological effects. Scientists continually refine their knowledge of how spilled material travels with currents, how it disperses in the water column, and how local fauna respond. Though concerning, these episodes also underscore the resilience of certain species, which have shown remarkable capacity to bounce back given time and a healthy habitat. Examining centuries of data, whether from the shells of ancient clams that contain climate records, or from sediment cores in the seafloor, we see patterns of climate fluctuations, water temperature changes, and natural cycles of upwelling that can either supply nutrients or trigger fluctuations in oxygen levels. These archives retained in the geology of the Gulf reveal times of both abundance and scarcity, storms and calms, extinctions and recolonizations, all shaping the region we see today. Such cycles are also important to modern research as scientists track how the frequency and intensity of hurricanes might shift under changing ocean conditions. The warm surface waters of the Gulf can act like a reservoir of energy for tropical storms, sometimes triggering rapid intensification, a phenomenon that is indeed striking. While hurricanes can be powerful and even destructive, they are also part of the Gulf's broader natural processes, redistributing heat, mixing surface waters with deeper layers, and at times altering coastal landscapes in ways that can create new ecosystems for shorebirds or emergent seagrasses. In a gentle swirl of currents, we might also reflect on the expansive coastal wetlands, salt marshes and mangrove forests that rim the Gulf. These wetlands act as nurseries for juvenile fish, shrimp and crabs, shield coastlines from storm surge, and filter pollutants from coastal runoff, thereby protecting the water quality of nearshore habitats. In some places, however, these wetlands have been drained or fragmented, leading to erosion of coastal soil and a decline in crucial habitat for both fish and migratory birds. Conservation groups and government agencies have undertaken restoration projects, planting grasses and restoring barrier islands to slow erosion and maintain a buffer between open water and the mainland. This ongoing endeavor showcases once again the interplay between threats and hopes, revealing that while we cannot erase every challenge, we can foster new ways of living alongside these rich ecosystems. Imagine the tranquil moment of diving just offshore, where seagrass meadows wave gently in the subtle currents. These meadows are rich in marine diversity, supporting sea cucumbers, seahorses and myriad crustaceans that find shelter among the thick Seagrass beds trap sediments, keeping water clearer for corals and sponges that need sunlight, and they serve as a key feeding ground for grazing animals like green sea turtles and manatees. When water clarity falters due to excessive runoff, or when changes in temperature stress the plants, these meadows can thin out or vanish, leading to ripple effects across the food web. Learning about such interconnections underscores the complexity of the Gulf of Mexico, where each habitat, reefs, seagrass beds, mangroves, open water and deep sea, plays a unique role in sustaining life. In pursuit of safer navigation and sustainable fishing, the Gulf also hosts active fisheries, from shrimp trawlers to boats seeking grouper, snapper or tuna. Fisheries management relies on data about fish reproduction rates, habitat health and population trends, a continuous balancing act that aims to preserve species for future generations while supporting local economies. Sometimes, fishing pressure coupled with habitat alterations can cause certain species to decline, and the question arises, how can we adjust our methods to protect these species while still providing a livelihood? Management decisions rooted in careful research, such as designating protected areas or setting catch limits, are regularly refined. Although these regulations may feel strict, they reflect an attempt to safeguard the Gulf's living resources. Even among all these complexities, researchers are humbled by how swiftly the ecosystem can change, and they try to remain vigilant, ready to revise and adapt. Drifting in placid contemplation, we can turn our attention to the mesmerizing phenomenon of bioluminescence, which can be observed in various parts of the Gulf as tiny plankton or jellyfish glow with faint flickers of blue or green light in the darkness, particularly on calm nights. While not exclusive to the Gulf, this natural light show has a magical quality that reminds us of how alive the ocean truly is when the sun sets. Stresses such as pollution, changes in water chemistry, or disruptions in ocean currents may affect these creatures, telling us again that everything is connected in this intricate web of life. The wetlands, the reefs, the open waters, the deep sea vents, each environment depends on the balance of chemical and physical factors that allow life to flourish or falter. Though some of these realities may feel unsettling, they pave the way for ongoing research aimed at better understanding and caring for these waters. When we consider the water's chemistry, from pH levels and dissolved carbon dioxide to minute traces of metals, we realize every detail shapes how organisms build shells, regulate their bodily processes, and find food. Certain shellfish species, such as oysters, rely on stable pH levels to grow healthy shells and thrive in estuaries, places where fresh water and salt water merge. Oysters anchor entire communities of marine life, creating living reefs and clarifying water by filtering out particles. But if water acidification intensifies, oysters might struggle to maintain their shells, and the entire system can be thrown off balance. In turn, researchers look for ways to reduce runoff or improve water quality, demonstrating again the intricate interplay of natural processes and human stewardship. Along the Texas coast, you find large expanses of shallow bays and lagoons that support iconic bird species. Farther east, along the Florida Panhandle, you encounter barrier islands with dunes that shift and reshape following major storms. Traveling south, you meet the loop of currents near the Florida Straits, linking the Gulf to the Atlantic, and continuing onward to the rest of the vast ocean beyond. This cyclical exchange of water is a crucial link, ensuring that the Gulf of Mexico is never merely standing still but rather actively participating in the larger system of global ocean currents that regulate climate and distribution of life on our planet. Meanwhile, Smaller details pepper the region's biodiversity. Sponges filter water by the gallon, brittle stars cling to reefs, crabs scuttle through sandy seafloors, and squids pulse with gentle propulsions. Even the humble sea cucumber quietly recycles nutrients along the ocean bottom, breaking down organic matter so that other organisms can benefit. Life in the Gulf is a symphony of specialized creatures, each adapted to unique conditions. Yet if one part of that symphony falls silent, whether through temperature changes, loss of habitat, or low oxygen levels, there can be a cascade of consequences that ripple through the entire environment. Using submersibles and sophisticated sensors, scientists descend into the deeper reaches, capturing footage of rarely seen creatures like deep-sea corals with bright pink or white branches, ghost-like fish that drift in the dark, and strange crustaceans that walk across the bottom. Among these wonders lurk occasional reminders of how reliant we are on maintaining balance. Microplastics, gradually breaking down from larger debris, can show up in the digestive tracts of fish and invertebrates. Chemical pollutants may settle onto the seafloor, only to be disturbed by storms or activity, reintroducing them into the water column. These realities may evoke a sense of foreboding, but they also spur new collaborations between researchers, local industries, and global partners to develop better waste management, cleaner production methods, and region-wide conservation strategies. More and more, people are recognizing that the Gulf of Mexico is not merely a resource but a shared heritage that must be sustained for present and future generations. One can appreciate the many success stories as well, such as the slow but steady recoveries of certain fish stocks after well-managed catch limits, or the rebounding of some sea turtle populations, where nesting habitats have been protected, giving these ancient travelers a better chance of success. In calmer nearshore areas, reefs once smothered by algae can sometimes come back to life when water quality improves and grazing fish are replenished, removing thick algae and allowing corals to grow again. Such moments of resilience highlight that despite the somewhat scary facts regarding dead zones, algal blooms, hurricanes or pollution, the Gulf is also a testament to life's persistence. As we swim onward in our imagination, letting the water cradle us, we become aware of the subtle rhythms that tie these habitats together, from the gentle swirl of plankton in the upper layers to the slow swirl of brine in the deep, from these swirling loop current uniting the shores of the Yucatan to the Florida Straits, from the shared migratory patterns of sharks and turtles to the interplay of nutrients across coastal wetlands and open water. The Gulf of Mexico is a living tapestry of flux and form, shaped by geologic, climatic and biological forces that remind us of the intricate designs forged over millions of years. Sinking softly into the tranquility of this exploration, we allow our minds to wander through the infinite tapestry of life that calls these waters home. We marvel at the architecture of coral reefs, appreciate the hidden complexities of submerged canyons, and reflect on the way that seagrass meadows ranch out in gentle waves, all of which come together to sustain species of every shape and form. Understanding these intersections and how humanity fits into them encourages us to respect and protect this precious cradle of life. If we continue to learn about the processes shaping these waters, we might realize that we are not outsiders gazing into a strange realm, but participants in an unfolding story. Our actions on land, from the use of fertilizers to the disposal of waste, can eventually reach the Gulf and tip the scales of balance. Perhaps those scary facts about the Gulf of Mexico become less about fear and more about awareness, a reminder that the natural world is sensitive to shifts, and that each of us can play a part in helping sustain and restore what has been entrusted to us. In these final moments, let the calming hush of these undersea reflections surround you, lulled by the slow swirl of currents and the faint distant songs of unseen sea life. There is something inherently peaceful about drifting through water, suspended in a gentle realm, where each breath feels a touch deeper and each thought a bit lighter. This fragile, awe-inspiring environment shows us that beneath the surface there is always more to discover, more to nurture, and more to respect. May we drift into a restful state of ease, comforted by the knowledge that exploration and curiosity are timeless ways of connecting with our planet's hidden wonders. Thank you for joining me on this soothing journey through the hidden worlds of the Gulf of Mexico, and I hope these glimpses of deep-sea phenomena, ocean chemistry, and delicate ecological interactions have sparked not only curiosity, but also a sense of calm appreciation. Now, as we draw our exploration to a close, feel free to let your eyelids grow heavier, inviting a tranquil slumber to carry you onward. I wish you a restful night and a gentle good night.